How do you get started running? That's a great question, because when you hear people talk about running, they're in one of two camps. They're either runners that have been doing it forever and love to do it, or they're people that hate doing it and they don't want to do it at all. So if you're trying to get engaged with running, figure out what to do and how to start running, where do you start? Well, the first thing you want to think about is start easy, start light. The best thing you could do is just go for walks. Walks are one of those things that doesn't get enough fanfare and attention, because if you think about our development as animals, walking should develop the tissues that we need in our feet, ankles, and lower legs to support proper movement. Now, it's not like, if you think about people sitting around the caveman days or their ancestral tribes, they're not sitting around, did you go for your run today? Did you go for your walk today? No, they're moving and they're engaging. And that natural movement should develop the tissue resiliency to be able to, need it to go and scale up. Now, when you're thinking about this stuff, don't worry about getting the volume. Don't worry about getting this, like I gotta go get 6-8 miles at mid-distance pace. I think a lot of people train way too easy on the hard stuff, meaning they don't go really intense for their sprint training or their anaerobic work, and they go way too hard on the easy stuff, meaning they don't just get the steps in. What you wanna think about is starting with walking. Get your steps in. Get 10,000 steps a day. Think about how you're moving. Wear shoes that let you feel the ground and engage the ground. That's gonna start to get your feet and ankles to loosen up and move. That's the first step. And then once you have some capacity, you feel like, okay, I can go for a 20 and 30 minute walk and I don't feel like my feet are sore and I can feel like I'm engaged, my back isn't tight. Then start to do a walk jog, a walk run. So you go for 5 minutes and you run for 1 minute. And this is slow, easy stuff. What I want you to visualize is that if you run up and you see a runner, they're on the side of the road, they get there and they're kind of bouncing, waiting for the stoplight to go, that little easy pace, that's what you want. And just instead of thinking about how fast can I go run a mile, when it comes to the distance and getting the volume, I want you to think about how many steps can I get in? How easy can I make this? And you want to think light, you want to think effortless, you want to think fluid. We have this misconception where we think about running as part of exercise, we're trying to burn calories. And that's a problem because we end up beating our body up. The point is to get movement in, to explore and express ourselves as moving animals. And when we do that, we're not chasing the burn, we're not chasing this beat up thing. There's a time for that. If you want to set up and go and do a track workout, do some sprints, do some anaerobic threshold work, that's great. That's where you chase the intensity. But every other time needs to be easy, needs to be fluid, needs to be moving. Because if we're beating our body up, that's going to put us into a deficit. So the big thing I want you to take away from this is if you want to start running, start easy, just start exploring your body. So there's two parts to this. There's getting the actual steps and getting the tissue resiliency and the time and retention with running, which happens by getting a bunch of steps, light and easy, starting to move, and this a walk-run combination, staying well below the threshold of what you think you can do. Then you pair that with strength training for your feet, ankles, and lower legs. Get the toes to move, get the ankles to engage, get the lower legs to develop, and get the connective tissue stronger on the tendons of the knee, ankle, shin, and foot. When you do that, you'll develop the capacity to make things, to increase your ceiling. That's when you can start to add in things like a track workout, so 100s, 200s, 400s, 800s, miles, sprints. What you want to think about is as you develop that, you bring your ceiling up. And then that paired with the tissue tolerance from a high volume means you're going to be healthy as a runner. So take your time and build up. Get the volume there, add in the strength workout, then get to the ceiling. Those three pieces are going to be the path for you to get better and better as a runner and get started. Just take your time. We're not in a race. If you have any questions, if you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. Anything else you want to hear, ask the Barefoot Sprinter.